Crouch. Bind. Set.
Joe presents the House of Rugby, together with Guinness.
Tank fly, boss walk, jam nitty gritty. You're listening to the boys from the House of Rugby. Tins is jam hot. James is jam hot.
My.
Welcome to a new show with two retired...
It's got no relevance.
So be good to me. Two retired players on hand.
Oh my God.
Lovely to have you with us.
That's probably
I've
the
had
coolest, most uncool thing I've ever seen.
Do you think?
Yeah.
A sort of posh version of.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's rappers and people just turning in their graves now.
Do you think?
That was very Red Trouser Brigade, custard socks.
Have you ever seen the
Yeah.
website? Look at myfuckingredtrousers.com.
Yeah, of course I have.
Right.
Have you seen the
His
Twitter page?
His dad
My dad's on
created that website.
Have you seen that Twitter page, Jeans and Shoes? Because
No.
rugby fans, and this is the Twickenham lot I'm talking to, 100% jeans and shoes, right? There's a few people who go to Twickenham, right? They wear jeans, black smart shoes with boot cuts over the top, right? I've had some bad moments with them, so my shoe game's not the best. But when you've got clown feet, it's not ideal. The next thing is, why do people go to rugby in jeans and mountain climbing boots in case they have to scale the side of Twickenham?
It's all about comfort, right?
Followed by jeans and those multi-shoes, like multi-purpose, like a Gerber. They have a multi-tool clipped onto their thing.
Do they wear the walking boots? Because sometimes people get so smashed at games, they're not really sure where they might end up.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it just smart planning?
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not. It's because they feel like they've got to go off-roading, but it's the Gore-Tex slip-ons.
Do you follow chinocchios.chin.dictionary?
No, what's that?
It's really strong.
Please follow me the thing. Please send it to me.
I'll send it to
follow
you.
me the thing. Send it to
Follow
me. Yeah.
me
So
the
jeans and shoes is a great Twitter page. Check it out. But yes, a lot of rugby fans are guilty of the jeans, boot cuts, brown shoes, jeans, boot cuts, black shoes, jeans and Gore-Tex, and then if you're really keen, jeans and Wellington boots. I've seen people go to Twickenham and Wellington.
Twickenham?
Yeah, they think they're going to be going on the
It
field.
gets very muddy at the West
if
Carpet.
in the
you say-
Cardinal
Yeah, it
Vaughan,
does.
darling. Yeah.
If you say jeans and black shoes, I do think a bit of Shawsey. Shawsey is a very strong, wide jeans, obviously
Yeah.
big chap, but loves a little shoe with it, whether it be a Sweeney or whatever. But
I agree with you. I mean, I met there's two stories old. One of the boys was telling me Lawrence Dallaire was once in church, someone's wedding, and he had his shoes on, and he tapped them. And the bloke was like trying to sing, and he tapped him, and he went, and the bloke's like, "What are you doing?" And he went, "London Bridge." And the bloke's like, "What?" He went, "London Bridge." And the bloke went, "No, what are you talking about?" And he went, "Real bits of London Bridge in these Oliver Sweeney shoes." and the bloke was like, "What are you
Amen.
talking about?"
Amen and hallelujah.
What are you
the
talking
guy
about?
was like, "There's no place like home," as he's gone.
Yeah. First, they did take you there, but no,
extraordinary.
there are some unbelievable shoe games. I mean, I unfortunately got photographed, and a lot of people think that every time I appear in the Daily Mail bar of shame that I've called them up,
Yeah.
and I've gone, "I'm dressed like an absolute clown. Please come and photograph me." But they don't understand that that's not how it works. But unfortunately, when I first started dating Chloe, I was living out the boot of my car, and there's no excuse for what was in the boot of my car. But there's a great photo online of me wearing jeans, boot cuts over black shoes, wearing a horrible hoodie, and full jeans and shoes. And obviously, that's pulled out every time.
But bootcut went through a period, didn't it, with rugby players? I think.
Yeah, they were all right, but then now they've got skinny.
Specs sort of had a long period of boot cut.
Yeah, but he wore
Sarong.
sarongs that were so wrong.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the skinny jeans now. You've got to have everything tapered down.
Yeah,
but it's hard to get that. When you've got
people take that to the extreme. Though.
Yeah.
I've never heard of jeans and shoes before. A fairly staple part of my wardrobe. But
No
have you
doubt.
ever heard of sneens?
Yeah, Sneena, like
So sneens are something
Sneakers
like-
and jeans.
Yeah, but they're normally they're sort of quite white.
Yeah,
oversized,
they're like proper
with a
training
faded wash
trainers.
jean. Yes,
They're very American.
the official king of Schneening was Steve Jobs, R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
New Balance with full trainers.
Yeah.
And then
with
with
Wrangler
a
jeans.
black turtleneck top.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Sneeners who walk around doing
Who
that.
is the worst sneener in rugby?
I'll put it this way: he's one of the England coaches. I'm not going. I'm
Currently.
now retired.
Oh,
but
you're
I've
retired,
got-
so who gives a shit? It's just
yeah,
fucking name and
but
shit.
he's one of the. Yeah, but there's a few lads as well.
Steve Borthwick?
Oh, I couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah, but actually both is because he wears shoes for comfort because his body is literally that broken. So
Yeah.
he is a
Poor
full.
Borthwick. He's got those
no doubt there'd be
steps to kind of keep his arches together.
Yeah.
You were saying the other night that Eddie Jones is an absolute trainer fanatic.
Oh, has an incredible trainer fetish. It's one of those secret things that I think that you just wouldn't know. Absolutely loves his trainers and knows all about them. And it's 100% up with it. And the first thing he'll take you down on is your shoe game. And as my shoe game is often poor to fairly poor, he would be on me. Yeah, he loves them. I reckon there's probably a West Wing somewhere of a house full to the brim.
And as you open the door, Nelly Air Force One starts playing in the thing.
Yeah, but he knows all of that about everything.
Amazing scenes. We're off and running. How are you as a former rugby player? What a week you've... we obviously did the show last week. It was quite emotional. Did you watch it or not? Has spoke from the heart.
I like to say I started listening to it, but then it made me feel a little bit sick. Yeah, so I stopped.
There has been a lot of love, though. Even Stephen Jones was writing a little sort of love obituary to you.
He's always been good to me, Stephen Jones.
Yeah. I think he's the doyen of.
I'm not sure whether that's a good thing.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take what you can. I have had, but obviously I'm still going into Saints and training. Obviously, my foot's no good.
Why have you come on a crutch today?
I had an injection in my toe yesterday.
So not even the ankle.
No, my toe's what made me, led to helping me retire. Do you know what I mean? I'm still going into training and everything else, so I'm not retired yet. I've announced my retirement.
You're going to keep turning up until they stop paying the paychecks.
No. I was doing
breakfast tomorrow morning or something. I mean, that's
I'm doing a
giving back to society.
I'm giving you a business breakfast for
I guarantee his thought process around that business breakfast has completely changed.
Business card collection.
It's now business.
Hoovering up.
But do you know what? I was utterly blown away. I have never experienced people being as nice to me in my entire life, and I couldn't be more humbled. I was genuinely shocked. It took me 8 days to get rid of or like read every single one people's messages who sent me on Instagram, all the tweets, all the personal emails. People were like taking out the time to email me. I've never felt the love like this in the world. I genuinely thought my mum, dad, Tins from time to time, maybe you and my wife like me.
I'm paid to.
For the time being. But I was astounded. So thanks so much. And do you know what? So many of them referenced House of Rugby in their thing, and how much they love the show, how much they love Tins, how much they love you. So I think that was pretty special, and I'm very humbled. And do you know what? Someone tweeted something today. Why is it taking him for retire to everyone be so nice?
Yeah.
But I think everyone was nice. But you're kind of predisposed to hear the negative stuff as opposed to the good stuff. But I did not know that I had that many people like me, had that many nice things to say. So I'm so thankful. So thank you to all of you.
Credit to the House of Rugby. Are we on 15% commission for life off the back of having made him look so good and opening him up to the nation as a darling?
I just want to be there to support him through this tough period of time. It's a big change for him. Mentally, he'll go through some interesting periods, but I'm sure he'll pull through it in the end.
I love that. Producer size just meant. What about production? But I don't think there's
they got a prize. Remember, the production won a prize, turned up and went to an award ceremony without us.
And took all our limelight.
Either we're integral.
Just to go through it. Fuck you, site.
Yeah, either we're integral to the whole thing and we're part of it, we should have been at the awards, or you don't need us and you collect your own stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll say yet again, thank you, Tins. Thank you, Alex. And thank you to all the fans. Si, get fucked, Chief. And your sidekick, Murray.
Trot on.
Oh, actually, no, Muz is way ahead of Si because...
Oh, yeah, he brings the Guinness.
Refill,
But Muzz's gears today are unbelievable. He's gone Shoreditch Caribbean, which is an interesting combination. Look at this, Si. Si's laughing.
Cackling away like a witch on a broomstick.
Like someone machine gunning a sea lion.
Are we still going?
Boise.
All right, Del.
All right, Marlene.
Most surprising person who got in touch, biggest name?
Oh,
Came from left field.
So my Instagram was incredible. I got a really nice message from Dan Carter.
Did you really?
I did. That was very nice. I think.
He wants to come on the show, apparently. He's just buttering you up to get a seat.
If you got there's some amazing characters. I tell you, Dame Kelly Holmes.
Really?
Messaged me. That was astounding. Obviously, because she's kind of inspirational for what she achieved. Liam Messam. There's quite a few guys that have come out. Loads of my fellow teammates and players. And do you know what? I think Di Young said some amazing stuff as well, which was I really appreciate. Eddie Jones was incredibly complimentary. Do you know what? It's been a really interesting week. And what I've tried to do, and I have done this, I've read every single message that everyone sent me. So I reckon it's well over kind of 3,000 across the whole thing, and I've read every single one. And for me, I bank that for life. So if I ever feel down or feel bad or there's always a few negative ones thrown in. but I'll always treasure those moments. So I'm glad that I gave it everything I could be. People found me amusing and enjoyed what I did on the field.
Some people.
Some people found me amusing, yeah. Not everyone. But.
When you retired, did you close the door, walk back and think, job done? Or did you have any of the wobbles and the concerns that he spoke about last week?
Well, what wobbles were they?
Yeah, you didn't listen. That's how committed he is.
Yeah.
Which is quite weird.
Do you
I
know
did
what I
start listening, but then I was on the tube when I started listening to it, and I hadn't downloaded the whole thing, so it stopped after like 4 minutes, and
Right.
then I never got back to it. Did I have any wobbles? Look, I didn't retire on in sort of my ideal way of retiring. It was a very strange way of retiring because I didn't really want to retire. I wanted to play for another year because it would have been 10 years at Gloucester. I was on something like 191 games, so I got to 200 games for Gloucester. So I had loads of little, and I wasn't forced into it, but I sort of, it came up that then Nigel Davies got the boot. So then when Humphreys came in, obviously he was going to bring in his own staff, and I hadn't been equated into that budget in terms of a player budget.
Right.
So it was more like, well, I'm not going anywhere else. I don't want to go anywhere else. So it was sort of, right, I think I'm done. So it was quite like out of the blue.
So
you're
it just sort of, because it was really interesting when we were talking before we recorded last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. You were saying, you're gutted you didn't get the McCall moment, but there are very, very, very few players who get that McCall moment. I mean, even Martin Johnson didn't have the McCall moment because he lost with Leicester against your mob in the Premiership final, him and Neil Back, and it was meant to be the big retirement party. Is retirement a thing? Do you have a regret about the way that it ended, or do you just sort of move on quite quickly?
Yeah, not really.
No.
It is what it is. Would I've, if I'd have planned it, would I have planned it differently?
Yeah.
Yes, but I generally still wanted to dig out another year just for mainly personal goals.
Yeah.
But at the time, I still thought I could do a job. England stopped in 2011, and then I probably had couple of my best years after England because you're not thinking about England or anything else. You just get on and you play and turn up, and that I found that quite refreshing, not having just
Did you enjoy
focus on one thing. Yeah,
almost more.
Yeah, just throw yourself into that side of it. So yeah, if I'd have planned it, I'd have planned it differently. But am I bothered? Not really.
Not really.
Do it. You could say, do you want the swan song or whatever? I mean, I thought I was retiring in 2012 or whatever because I didn't have a contract at the end of that, and I did the Barbarians, and Nigel Davies gave me a contract off the back of it. So because I played all right at the Barbarians, yeah. So I didn't know who knew what was going to happen. I never knew that.
How did that come about? So Gloucester said thanks a lot.
Well,
was Davies in charge at the time?
No, he came in. And what Nigel was amazing at, and I will always say this, is he understood what Gloucester was as a club.
Yeah.
And historically, and how passionate the fans were, and how sort of older guys mean a lot to that. And he wanted me to stay on in a coaching capacity, but also understood that I still wanted to play. So that's why I ended up being player coach for the last couple of years. And then the idea would have been that Trinder and a few of the other guys would have come through, but then Trins went through that bad injury spell, so I ended up playing more games than what you probably thought I would have played, which then meant I really wanted to stay on for another year. Yeah. To then hit those goals because I played 50 games I didn't really expect that I would have played.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a funny game, isn't it? It's so sliding doors and luck of the bounce and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, if you're adaptable and you just roll with the punches, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Like, you're going out and playing something that you love doing every week. Just make sure you do that.
I think also, I was talking about what's going to happen next. How have you found, because I know I've talked to you about work stuff before, how have you found that transition into stuff?
Look, as I've said before, it's not, I haven't, there's different severities, and you've had an unbelievable career, and you'll learn everything you'll get in the back. What you've done in terms of Lions, 77 caps for your country, what you've won when you were with Wasps. The fact that you've travelled around the world. Playing in New Zealand, France, Japan. You've earned everything. So things will come to you naturally because of that's what you do. So same with me in terms of I don't look back and have any regrets. I had a great career. I achieved a lot, so that then brings rewards when you finish. So it's the people who don't quite have that level that we are very fortunate to have that go through a struggle period. Obviously, you'll always still go through the mental side of the fact that you're not around those guys 24/7. It's not like you now have to pick up the phone, which you'd never had to do. You just went to work and you had your support network that was just sat there. You had your days planned for you. You had your food planned for you. You had everything. I mean, you'll still have your food planned for you. Chloe does that for you, so it's all right. But all those things that you are so used to taking for granted that were delivered through this institutionalized sport that you're in, they're not there, and sometimes you do miss them, and sometimes you're not entirely sure where the next thing's coming from. It's unique, but it's another thing you've just got to adapt to.
How red hot has the agent's phone been? Strictly? Jungle? SAS Who Dares wins?
I have seen you dance. Just imagine how bad that would be.
I know. I think.
Chloe's banned you from Strictly, producer Sunset.
Oh yeah. Can you not remember?
We did the Boys Don't Cry episode. Yeah,
it's the breakup machine, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's an interesting one. Do you know what? I've never thought about reality TV.
What would you most like to do?
Oh, shut up!
No, listen.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever said.
Listen. Relax.
Humble.
I don't watch a lot of reality TV. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't watch reality
Celebrity
TV.
show jumping on Channel 5.
Yeah.
Trotting poles on a pony.
Monkey tennis with Charles and Dave. No, I have not watched. I don't watch any reality TV. I never have. I mean, I caveat that by saying I watched the first bit of Big Brother because it was such a novelty. Don't watch any of it. Never seen any of it. So I never thought about doing it. I've always been very proactive in my own stuff, doing things off the field.
Your own reality TV.
Yeah, my own reality TV, my own reality. Very much like the Truman Show, but I never thought about it. But obviously now when you're coming to the end, I'm sure there's potential.
What are you going to do?
Things. I don't know.
What would you like to do? Tomorrow you pack your bags and you're going into one show. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Oh bollocks!
I honestly don't know. What I'd rather do is do my own reality TV for Netflix, where I become a world-class DJ and they follow me around the world doing that, working with unbelievable people. And the last thing is like DJ at Wet Republic on a Saturday.
I'm sort of seeing Spinal Tap.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, with Tim's mouth, amazing. That's what I want to do. So sort that out. Wet Republic, Las Vegas, MGM Grand, Saturday, probably 2 to 4 times.
I'm back at Bolsh's Stag right now. It's amazing.
Let me set the scene for you.
I can't.
We're all friends here.
No. Bolsh's got some good friends, and we were there, and Ronaldinho, the basically chipmunk.
Bullshit is friends with Ronaldinho.
No.
Fuck, I was going to say that's a hell of a start point.
He was at Rep Republic, and he got annoyed with us because not many people wanted to hang around with us. With him. They wanted to hang with us in
with
our cabina.
You were having more fun.
Yep. And those Wet Republic cabanas are unbelievable because they look out onto the whole pool. The stage is to the right. I've analysed it.
Who else was riding in your tribe?
A few of Bolsh's mates are quite punchy. So there was, and then actually, how many rugby players?
Did Justin Marshall go on it?
Oh my God,
Mashy.
He was MVP. He was obsessed that he can swim. Like he believes he is the fastest swimmer in the world. So randomly, Tau. So basically, there's a party pool at Tau, and if you walk through, it's basically the family pool. Right. And there was a lady swimming in the pool, and Marshy just randomly walked past her and gave her a comment that I could beat you swimming. It's like 20-meter pool. I could beat you 2 lengths. She was like, okay. So Marshy's had a few, and does a swim left. She absolutely batters him.
You're kidding.
And typical Kiwi, can't give in. Let's go again. Turns out she swam for state or something. And he literally went 3 times against her, got absolutely destroyed, like 10, 15 metres ahead of him in a 2-length race. And then we finally had to drag him out because he wanted to go again and again.
Must have been coming up as well.
God.
But I know, but that's my...
I know that. one of the All Black greats in a swimming race in a family
Sweet.
pool in
Steaming
Vegas.
in pool.
Yeah.
Encore Sundays as well
drowning.
in Las Vegas. They were incredible. No, but my idea is Wet Republic, right? I'm sitting down, I've got my friends on the table, just dropping a naughty mix. I look over, wink, another bottle of Grey Goose or Belvedere or other brands are available. Gets sent over, right? The sparklers, I'm just there, aviator, wife beater, sunset's going down, everyone's having an absolute time of their life. You know,
This is available on Netflix.
Chloe's got a high-powered rifle from the thing. Take a look at any fake cans. I'm like, look at, you know.
Crack gags like that in Vegas.
What do you mean? Oh, no, you can't.
no,
Not there. Okay, fine.
Redact
okay,
that.
redact. Okay, rewind that. But essentially, Chloe's there with a taser. And
Balls in a vice.
yeah, ready to go. She's like, "You having a good time?" I'm like, "Yeah." You look at him, I'm like, "No." I'll have them like, you know, your nan wears them cataract glasses that go over the top of the other glasses.
He's got a person who's just liking Instagram photos.
And that's the dream. And I just send it over. And my boys give me a thumbs up just as I drop it in. Everyone's going mad.
We got a commissioning editor on the phone who you got a 10 series roll on the back of it.
Perfect. Netflix. Yeah.
They just press play.
Oh,
and they just sit
literally,
there and
they're pretending. And then they're like,
I was lucky enough to
There's a
meet
couple,
to
definitely,
meet
yeah.
Steve Aoki when I was out there. A friend of mine, we went out there I've been there 13 times, so it's kind of a bit.
You've done Vegas 13 times.
A bit of a misspent youth to Las Vegas, and you know, I met Steve Aoki and he was climbing up throwing cakes on people, and it was obviously pre-recorded set where he was doing bits and pieces.
Cake as
they
in
also
cake
had
or
that guy.
cake as in-
No, cake. Yeah,
As in
actual cake. Like it's got cake written on it, and this is part of his thing. And he was just lobbing it. People were like, throw it at me, and he just lobs it straight at their face. And then the guy Machine Gun Kelly, who just played the Motley Crue actor, he climbed up the top of the whole of the scaffolding, was like jumping off, going completely mad.
what a great show that is.
What a great, yeah.
What's it called? Fucking Dirty. The thing about Motley Crue.
Yeah, The Dirt.
The Dirt.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Ozzy Osbourne snorting ants and urinating on the pavement.
That was amazing.
And those people think, you know.
But he gets a double shot of adrenaline to the heart. Just to pull him back. I'm not
incredible.
letting Nicky Sticks die on my watch.
Do you want to talk rugby or should we keep going? You had your stag in Vegas as well, didn't you?
No, Miami.
No, that was the
you were in
2011 World
Welcome
Cup.
to Miami. Yes,
That was-
exactly. New Zealand.
It was in Queenstown.
You had your stag in Queenstown?
No, everyone
So
followed the
it's-
paper
right.
said, yeah.
You did
I went
Miami.
Miami.
Which was better, Vegas or Miami? You can only go on one again.
I know the answer.
If I could only go on one again, I'd probably go as Bolsha's best man. It was just
Did
good.
you have good stag management, or did he kind of get boxed up and put to bed early?
No, good. I'm all about good stag management.
Keep them on, keep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Keep towing them back
I'm
in.
I'm not into destroying a stag. I'm into him enjoying it just as much. as
But
the rest of us.
why would you ever destroy the stag? Like,
I don't know.
I haven't had a stag do yet.
You're already married.
I know, but I obviously will have one.
Jesus, good luck with that.
Yeah. But
I'd like to see the T's and C's
could
that Chloe
be-
puts down in front of you before
yeah.
that comes together.
Yeah, because of bad stag management on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's the thing is I'm terrible the next day. So if I get steaming, I'm terrible. So you have to manage me because if you just bury me, then I'll be
just
slammed
get steaming,
down.
and then we just get it into you back at early doors.
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
day.
3 celebrities you'd like to have on your stag. Can be friends or not.
Oh, that's
You
Ricky
take
Gervais.
You take a
No, he's not into the piss. He wants an early night, isn't it? He always talk about he wants early night, not
I have
massive man.
started watching. What's his new one called?
Tell you what, Steve Coogan
The
would be
one
good
where
on a
his
stag
wife
do.
died.
Oh, Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Emotional and funny, isn't it?
Very funny.
I
But
think.
he is saying stuff that you actually think a lot of the time about people.
Yeah, of course. That's what everybody hates everyone else, but everyone pretends they don't.
Yeah.
I'm thinking The Rock
Strong. I like that.
loves his tequila. Who else would I have on the steam up?
You can go back in history as well.
Put me on the spot.
Wreak a bit of carnage with Attila the Hun or someone like that.
No, he wouldn't be terrible if he's trying to kill everyone. He gets thrown out of every club.
Yeah,
Right.
he'd be
Do you mean-
a nightmare.
It would be a
Social hand
nightmare.
grenade.
Who else would I have?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you who I'd also have. Is
in his good days.
Yeah. Who's that guy? I actually got to know
Pablo
him.
Escobar.
That is a very much a certain type of stag.
yeah.
No, who's the guy? The person who played the Warrior and plays, he was mates with Gareth Thomas. I actually got to know him. I can't remember what his name is on the tip of my tongue. It was played the wrestler.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke,
He'd tell
Robert
a-
Downey Jr. and
He'd
The
tell
Rock.
a story.
Oh my goodness.
That's a type of stag.
That would be a naughty stag, that.
I always think it'd be quite good to go on a stag to Vegas with the Hangover crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you always see those sort of movies and you think they'd be so cool to go out. How bad would it be if you actually went out with them and they're really like dull?
They would be dull. No, I think all these kind of people are quite dull. I don't think you have to read the ones that are super loose.
Yeah.
You've got to think of some super loose.
Johnny Depp, I think, would be quite loose.
Yes.
But it'd be under the radar.
Yeah, but he'd be weird loose.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He'd be like smoking an opium pipe, and you'd be like, "What are you doing, Johnny? Like, you can't do that."
Johnny, no.
You need someone who's got so loose, but they didn't know they were loose until they've been bundled into rehab, like Ben Affleck loose. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When it comes apart, it comes apart.
Yeah, you want to come out
spectacularly.
the seams. Like, you need them to have gone to rehab minimum once, ready to roll.
Reload?
100%.
Dear Murray, please can we have a reload during the break? Says producer Si.
You're watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness.
Still to come, we'll talk about how Sarries won the European Cup and what it is that makes them such a special team. And the boys are going to take on this week's Perfect Pour. First, though, here's something else that you might like from Joe.
Cheers, Alex. I'm Chris Lloyd. This is Carl Frampton, eating his way slowly towards the middleweight division. We're going to be here every Thursday talking about the big issues in boxing, getting stuck in with special guests, behind-the-scenes interviews, and, of course, snacks as well. Tune in every Thursday, podcast and on YouTube.
Thank you, Chris. Don't forget, you can still download every episode of the brilliant Boys Don't Cry with Russell Kane from iTunes or watch it on YouTube. What reception have you had to your Russell Kane
Really
appearance?
good. They loved it, actually.
I actually listened to that.
Did you enjoy
Did
it?
you? Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel bad and I want to apologise that I didn't listen to last week's show.
That's all right. It's not for everyone.
I wouldn't.
That's fine.
It's not.
Don't you
no,
worry about
it's not that I meant not to listen to it. It was always bad when I said, "Oh, what time are we meeting on Tuesday?" And we record the show on Friday. So that was just. I was going through a really bad, unorganised week. I think.
I'd sent you messages and kept you up to speed.
Yeah,
There was not a lot going on.
Just so off the ball.
Talking of stags, I think we have a new entrant to the stag crew. What an effort. First of all, from Saracens, well done on winning the European Cup. But the main story is the man in our frame this week, Mr. Alex Goode. Bum bag.
I'm just loving the bum bag.
I mean, the bum bag is incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
a fanny
pack.
pack,
That is
as
a
they
new,
call it stateside.
and he's wearing it generally as a fanny bag.
Do you know what they call him? Do you know what his nickname is?
What?
They call him the drone.
Because?
Because the drone's on. But then they upgrade him to the Apache because he was worse
Gets
than the drone.
guns.
And he just comes over and you just hear this like noise as he opens and talks to you. I've never seen it, but the lads at Sarries reckon he's
I tell you what,
a hero of a guy, unbelievably lovely bloke.
Yeah.
I've never had anything, but they
So
reckon his
we-
chat is horrific.
we were going to try and send a car to pick him up, but he has gone to bed, the great man, European Player of the Year, we should add, after 4 days on a stupendous bender off the back of their third European triumph. If you
What
missed
day is that with him still in his kit?
I think this was Sunday. So this is very kindly lent to us by Sean
In
Maitland, who
Newcastle
we asked if we
still,
could
is
borrow, and he didn't actually say yes, but we have stuck it in. Regardless.
Chin up, Sean Maitland.
Hashtag copyright. Anyway, he's
What a
been on a
player.
4-day bender. Well, let's just do the bender first of all. He's been on a pub crawl for 4 days in his boots. He went 24 hours later. He was still drinking at Jamie George's house. He put Jamie George's address on Twitter, and apparently loads of people turned up. So then he had to delete it and say, "Please don't come." Then he
up,
went to
people
George
turned up as
Cruz's house and did the same thing. Makover and Apollo tweeted a photo of him yesterday, so that would have been Monday. Still in his kit, still going for it. And at 2 minutes past 1 today, Tuesday, he tweeted a photo of his kit on the floor saying, "Over and out."
I love that.
Do you know what I'm really disappointed about that?
What?
I would love to him to have gone all the way through, not gone to bed, not gone home, and run out for Sarries against Worcester on Saturday at Six Ways with the bum bag on in his European
And still
final
ca-
kit.
still carve up.
7 days later. How impressive
Yeah,
would that
I
have been?
think that would be impressive. I think you'd also be dead from sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
You'd be hallucinating.
I mean, he goes into the annals. That is David Boone,
No.
Mike Tindall,
But do you know the best thing is
Ian Botham territory.
I'm very intrigued that he's actually put it out there. I tell you why, because in the sanitised world that we live in now,
Yes.
I admire it even more.
but that's why I am kind of blown away. I'm just very surprised that someone hasn't like panic alarmed him and called out from the club. and
That's
said,
Sarries as a club.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's what I think. Yeah, I mean that
Play
is
hard. Play hard. Play hard.
work hard, play hard.
work hard, play hard.
Yeah, play hard, play hard.
Clearly, you live by
Play hard,
that.
play
You live
hard.
by that mantra. Clearly.
Through that.
No, but I love that. I think it's great. I was talking to someone the other day about, I swear a little bit on social media. I swear a bit in the show, and that I shouldn't do that anymore because it was going to affect what I was going to do later on. And I said, well, I wouldn't go on to BBC in the middle of a daytime thing and drop the F-bomb. But I think different strokes, different folks. I think if you've got character and you do stuff, I think that's great. It work hard. And how well has he played this season? How well has he been playing for the last however many years?
Will the session impress Eddie Jones or just draw a line through his name? Will Eddie Jones
if he plays on the weekend and fronts up and still plays amazing, then surely that's just positives for me.
If Warren Gatland was coach, he would have made him captain.
Do you know what I was thinking?
If Warren Gatland,
Lions, if Gatland's just been announced as Lions coach, I'd stick as good as a tourist.
But so for Warren Gatland, and he turned up and fronted up and played carved up, he'd be captain. Legitimately,
he has to play at sixth place on Saturday.
He has to. Yeah, I know. I told you my first training session. We had a morning session. I punched Trevor. I can't remember if I told you this. Yeah. And he came up and was like massaging my shoulders.
That's my kid.
Going, that's my boy. You know what I mean? And like he would go, right, get steaming. And if you got steaming and turned up for conditioning and fronted up, he absolutely loved that. Yeah. That's what he was about. So I don't know. I think Eddie likes that. I think would like a bit of character. But I don't think he's just obviously not expected to play.
What I was going to say is Danny Cipriani probably shouldn't try the same thing.
No, that's not the approach.
Horses for courses.
If you've already been burnt, like for example, if you've already gone to rehab and you've had a previous, you can't do that. That's not permitted.
Was it on the flight back from Australia? And we're talking about sporting icons who like a party. Both of them is right up there. David Boone. David Boone did 42 cans on a flight from Australia to England. Did you beat the record?
Well, it's not. See, it's a story I like to retell, but it's not entirely true. Right. I did start going after it, but then
fell asleep.
We started playing cards, so we switched to like hardcore spirits.
So you did what?
But then we also we picked someone, which happened to be my cat, and then we fixed all the cards whilst he was in the toilet. So he got absolutely destroyed. Right. And we had to carry him off the plane at Singapore or wherever we stopped.
This was on the way back from 03?
Yeah.
So because I'd heard rumours in the grapevine that you had beaten Boone's record.
Yeah, not technically true.
But you don't let the truth get in the way of good after dinner.
Just embellish that.
Well, it was Matt Dawson and Will Greenwood who sort of came up with that, and I've quite happily rolled with it for 10 years. I definitely did. I mean, he was
didn't even notice
the little ones.
I imagine Leonard would have got quite close if he'd turned his.
Yeah, I think if you went after it, you could take it on, but it is quite a bit. But if you think on the plane, they are quite small.
Stubbies.
I'm flying to Fiji, so maybe I'll have a go at it. I'm retired.
Well, we know for a fact that you haven't no fucking chance.
Well, you say that.
I'd worry for you.
Will you worry for me?
Yeah.
Don't worry about me, mate.
Our Christmas show is
my goodness. What are you talking about?
Altitude, mate.
Bury you. No, that is pretty impressive.
Well done, that's good.
No, that isn't. I love that. Outstanding.
I love the end of season though. This is when all the all-dayers come. This is where the team Bin Juice members come to
tell the nice people about your cat.
I mentioned
it's a strong hat game this week for our podcast listeners.
It got cut out. For podcast, I've got a camo hat on with TBJ on it. Team Bin Juice. There's a great Instagram page called Team Bin Juice, and Team Bin Juice is
What is Bin Juice?
So Bin Juice is the lowest of the low. They are, when you turn up for pre-season training, you're issued your kit, a bib and a tackle bag. Your prospects are low. You basically don't get many games for the season. You have a lot of awkward conversations with coaches where they suggest that you've got a lot of work-ons, but you never get to fruition. They talk about rotation, where they say they're going to rotate, but you never get rotated in. You're rotated out, never back in again. You come to the fore for any kind of community appearance. Normally Team Bin Juice win Community Player of the Year at most clubs. Dave Walder at Wasps, when he was there, won it 5 times.
Phenomenal coach.
Phenomenal coach, absolute bin juice. There's bin juice all around the country, but they come to their fore at the end of the season. They're the first one to get steaming, first one to cause drama. They very rarely.
Does that get noticed?
Yeah, they normally get the worst seats in the changing room. They have to do all the bullshit appearances. They have to train. They're basically cannon fodder for the first team. Every club in every sport has bin juice, like reserve goalkeepers at football clubs. Absolute bin juice.
Right.
Community.
So basically, you for the last.
That's why I'm wearing a bin juice hat. I've fully been bin juice. I'm chairman of the bin juice. I was the Lions bin juice, the midweek veg bin juice. No,
I'm not giving you that.
No, listen,
come on.
don't see it. It's
I
not
think being a Lions bin juice is okay. Though.
Yeah, but don't see it as. I'm not saying it's derogatory. Like I'm very comfortable as the chairman of Bin Juice.
Right.
Like, we're the emotional heartbeat of a team. We're the foundation of a team's energy and morale. If the Bin Juice go off the boil, they'll bring the whole thing down from the inside out. Very disruptive people, the Bin Juice. If they don't get satisfied, every team's got these people. So that's what we're about. So there's a fantastic Instagram page that's in there. And
It is very good, actually. It's well worth following. The rugby itself, Jesus H. Christ, Sarries were good. I'm going to come to you first of all, Michael.
Yeah, no, I was there.
Did you have a good day?
Unbelievable atmosphere. Unbelievable.
Really?
I love St James's Park. It was just the whole bit with the flags beforehand, and when they ran out, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Like the volume was off the chart.
They lay on a good party, the Toon, don't they?
They do, yeah. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
And then I thought first half, I still thought Sarries were dominant in the first half, but obviously Leinster, when they got their shots, threw a few punches, but then the second half, wowzers, Sarries were just so good. I mean, Will Skelton is. I know there were other players. Billy was outstanding. Brad Barrett was outstanding. But what they've got out of Will Skelton when they've
stripped him down.
They have stripped him down and just looks like he loves playing for the club, and he's just a wrecking ball, isn't he? I mean, Mako goes off. Actually, the whole front row, the two props went off, didn't they? And you think, oh, they're going to lose something, and then they bring on a couple of internationals, and away they go again. You don't even notice. So, yeah, they were just so good. I mean, look, I still think Leinster suffer a little bit what Ireland suffered in the Six Nations, that when they're behind, they struggle to catch up. And, with Sarries, they don't have that. Even when they went behind, you never worried that they can't get back. That's the beauty of Sarries. It doesn't matter the scenario. They've always seemed to have answers. And, they were good.
It was a proper Royal Rumble. Physic, did you watch it or not?
Yeah.
You did?
I did, yeah, of course. We're a bloody rugby show. I've got to watch rugby.
What?
I've got to watch some.
Sorry, just feedback in his ear again.
I've got to watch some rugby.
That physicality, though. I mean, have you played in a game where, I as a Norse, I went to have a look at some of the stats, and the gain line dominance of Sarries was, off the charts.
Yeah, but
Have you played in a game where you cannot get anything going forward?
Yes, a number of times. And I think it's a team like Saracens. You know what Saracens do better than anything? It's with all the skills that require no skill. So everything that requires no skill, they're the best at.
Yeah.
So by that I mean kick chase, counter ruck, counter rucking off kickoffs, line speed, ability to get off the floor. Direct carrying.
Yeah.
All those things make a huge difference. And a lot of teams, because the Premiership now is so evenly matched in terms of, and World Rugby really, everyone's as fit, everyone's as big. And it then comes down to the consistency of all the things that require no skill.
Yeah.
And so many teams, 1 week will get something right, but the others won't. And actually Saracens do that so well with then the added ability on top of that. And everything they do is the gain line. The first thing you talk about when you're analysing Saracens is, right, they've got big men coming up the line, you have to stop momentum. When they've been beaten, teams have dealt with their momentum. If you don't deal with their momentum,
How on earth do you deal with them?
Well, that's the
like
problem.
That,
you have to put your head in the spokes, you have to be unbelievably aggressive, you have to be low tackle focus, you have to gnaws the shit out the breakdown, no looseness. But again, remember that Sarries will play this very kind of, they won't play a lot of rugby in their own half. They will be very kind of clinical, matter of fact. People call them boring, but that is what it takes to win.
They are boring in terms of where they play their possession, but then once they get into an opposition half, how they build momentum and build speed of ball, and their variety in terms of what they do around whether they go out the back and the late passes that, the no look passes and this and that, is the variety of that game is what makes it hard then to defend as well, and they're relentless with it. They don't make that many mistakes
because obviously they've got a lot of runners off 9 a lot of the time with that shape, and then you've got someone like Mako with the great ball skills where every team kind of does it quite similar to it. Take it to line, pull it back. He does it later than anyone, so you're not sure whether he's going to carry it. If you underestimate him and he dummies and goes himself, then he's going to get over the gain line. Owen Farrell, he'll send those forwards 2 or 3 times, and because they're such big men, and they take the momentum, then he's got the ability to play at the line where he's got 2 forward runners, he's got someone out the back, he's got those guys to finish. And I think Maitland's try, I know it was a clever offload, but
it was lovely.
But eventually walked it in, and that's what they'll do to you. I love Billy V's try off the base of the scrum. I tell you why, just because
Power.
so quick, so much power. You know, they had 3 people there. I mean, you know, if I was a 7, I would be thinking, shit, you know, you've got to hit this real early. You know, and the way I loved it, you know, from a real nausea point of view, watching it back, how so many number 8s at the moment, you know, you're not allowed to change channels anymore. You used to be able to go from 2 to 1. You're not supposed to. Some referees don't notice. Others let it go. But I love Billy had his hands down already. Like they call it, like a wicket keeper. You see a lot of teams do it in the Premiership. But Tamana Harrison does it unbelievably well at Northampton, where the ball will come and Billy picked it up, kept all his weight on scrum, so the scrum didn't come back.
So do you engage as you go down?
Yeah. So basically, so what happens is he sets up and he'll have both hands, so a hit, but he'll basically have both hands free. But he was completely leaning down. So if you saw him, he dropped his left hand down, probably scooped it out the second row because they've changed the law so you can do that. Scooped it out the second row, rebalanced himself, but kept his weight on the whole time. Because if you watch so many number 8s, they'll come off the scrum to get the ball and it shunts back on them. You know, Billy's 130 kgs. That's a lot of weight to have in there. I mean, they were pretty dominant, you know, with Skelton, who are, I've got to say, have got unbelievably fit. You know, considering what he was like when he was playing in
it was basically just
Australia.
a super sub in Australia. He can only come on and do 20 minutes.
He couldn't last. Body shape's completely changed. But Billy then, that ability to, and just that power and that nous to kind of, as he gets off the scrum, he swaps it to his right hand, powers in. You've got Johnny Sexton.
Went through 4.
Yeah, he's got Johnny Sexton trying to clip his head in. The other guy's half tackled him, gone to McGrath, and then reached over. I love that because a lot of number 8s, back row moves are gone, as we talked about on the show before, and number 8s very rarely, get pick and go. But I love that from him. But yeah, that's what I think culturally. The most interesting thing is that there'll be so many podcasts who'll do the rugby analysis of this game. But actually, I love the cultural side of Saracens. I'm really intrigued by it.
When you talk to them about it, I mean, do you talk about their culture?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
And what's interesting is you sort of get the sense from players that there's an element of envy, and that is, I suppose, entirely natural because it is they're winning trophies. It looks a fantastic culture. It looks an enormous amount of fun, as we can see from our friend behind us. I mean, is that a thing? Do players look at Saracens and think, God, I want to go there?
I think it's definitely a thing. Just looking as an old player looking in, I think Exeter are very good at it too.
Yeah.
And why I say that is I played in Gareth Stevenson's testimonial game, and just being around the club for 2 days, and the fact that you're seeing Jack Noel and how much they interact with every person who works at the stadium. You know, Tony Rowe is coming down. Tony Rowe played. He came on and played, and how much time he invested around the players that were there. And you had that feeling that everyone who was working for that club knew that they were part of this club that was going on to succeed. And the fact that they let 4 or 5 of the first teamers play in Gareth Stevenson's testimonial, which no one would normally do in a Legends game sort of thing. Obviously,
played?
Matt Jesk played when he was still there.
Yeah.
Nolly played. Obviously, Steno played.
And do the current players carve up in an environment, even if they're playing against quite good players or not? How quick did you drop off?
Well, I think most of them were quite nice. I think if Nolly decided to be,
so I'm quite interested as to how quickly, when you say that's it, I'm done. How quickly it goes?
Oh, fast.
Really?
Yeah. So, like for someone like Matt Jess, So I've played a couple of Legends or charity matches with him, and he still plays Championship, doesn't he?
Yes, I think he does.
Somewhere, and he's way ahead of us because he's still training full time. It literally carves up.
Really?
Literally. So we played rugby league versus rugby union.
Yeah.
And it's like, give the ball to Jess, give the ball to Matt.
Because he's just on it.
Literally. He's great feet, powerful. See you later.
Hello.
It's like when you go retire.
Ball.
Yeah.
Absolutely
like
not. I'm currently on a kind of a rig rebuild at the moment, albeit I'm on a crutch. So I'm talking about aesthetically, not physically.
What you do is when you retire, you're not bothered about how you could perform on the field. It's mainly aesthetics.
Yeah. So my thing at the moment is to get super lean. Right. So I'm down I started the season at 125. I'm down to 113, and I'm going to.
Really?
And I'm going to rebuild, and I'm trying to get to 130 legally. Not that matters because I'm retired, but I'm going to do it anyway because I don't want my heart to explode. Just to see what I can do, just purely because of that. And I'll never play again.
You're going to get to 130.
I'm going to try, yeah, with Chloe's guidance and everything else. So I've got down. She got me down to 113, leanish. So I'll.
And you're going to get back up again?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm 72. Do you think she could get me to 75 on the intense ratio?
yeah.
It would involve some weights.
I reckon she could. But
Do you think I can't lift weights? Just heavy salads.
I was saying about. Do you know what? We talked about the psychological side of rugby, right? And I've got a big bugbear about this, is that it's completely undervalued. Interesting enough, the two teams you've noticed, so the Exeter boys, completely indoctrinated by Exeter, absolutely love it, very close relationship, adore their coach, love the whole thing down there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Saracens. So many clubs, right? Because rugby clubs lose money a lot of the time and everything else. You get a lot of owners who come in who don't know anything about rugby. Some of them are rich guys who want to play with a toy for a period of time, realise that no rugby club makes a lot of money and they decide to get out of it.
Yeah.
Or some people have been around it for a long time and they want to improve it, but ultimately they're confined by budgets. And you've got a constant thing of the difference between task focused, people focused. So the thing with Saracens is they obviously clearly have a really good idea of where they want to go and what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
But while doing it, they're people focused as well, and they understand that it's about the people are the commodity. And a lot of clubs, don't quite understand that. So for example, they pay money on playing squads, but then they send you off to a crap hotel that's 75 degrees with one big bed, one small fish finger bed that your nan used to let you sleep on, shit food, long coach journeys, no infrastructure, no nothing, and then wonder why you don't perform. Even just at a base level like that. What you don't realise that when I talk to the Saracens guys and when I talk to any player, they say treat the family, wives and girlfriends incredibly well.
Which Saracens are very good at.
They say that they feel like there's a whole holistic approach. That, I remember when the guy Ed...
Jackson?
No. There's a guy there who was at Saracens who's part of the management. I don't know his name.
Ed Griffiths.
Yeah, Ed Griffiths was there. Boys are waking up at a hospital and Ed Griffiths is there bedside. Albeit, he's not. He's a astute businessman. So the first thing they see someone from the club there caring, do you know what I mean, showing the added value. But when the lads come off contract, or even before that, a year and a half before they're off contract, they're offering a new one. They're getting them on bulk, so they know that Owen's going to sign, when Marrow signs, when Mako signs, when Billy signs. They're doing it as a collective. They feel valued. But it's not rocket science what they're doing. But it's just it's neglected by so many clubs, and I find it ridiculous. I understand people have got bad budget constraints, but so many boys let contracts expire.
Yeah.
And you don't feel valued. Wives and girlfriends, it's like, well, we'll put something on at the end of the game. But I say for Northampton, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic wives and girlfriends and family feel and setup. Unbelievable. Really welcoming and everything else. I just think so many clubs just miss out these bits and pieces. And then to top it all, Sarries go on these unbelievable adventures. And normally, I had a real bugbear with it as a captain when I was captain of Wasp. Because every week when we were going to play Sarries, 4 days before they fucked off to bloody, Val d'Isère, skiing, steaming, right? All these photos are so steaming. Then they turn up and they beat us every time. But for me as a player, you're like, they're showing you absolutely no respect. They don't care. They don't rate you. They're doing these things. But on these trips, the lads would bond.
Making memories.
Making memories. And when you...
And then when you get back into the changing rooms... So when they walk into change rooms for that match, even if it's away from home, pictures all over the walls of the memories they've just made, and then you're like, okay, this is why we're playing, mates. It's like we're part of something. And
not getting on the piss is not necessarily going to solve your things. But what it does is
best way of bringing people together.
is that genuinely training people hard together.
Yeah.
Right. That normal civilians, I know this is a sweeping statement, but a lot of people don't understand what it takes to work hard and train hard. You go to any public gym, watch it. People go, oh my God, I worked so hard. It's like, listen, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in a professional sport environment, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So if you train hard, you bond. There's nothing worse. If you come off a fitness session, absolutely bollocks, high five your mate, go, fucking hell, Tins did well there, go off and earn a rest, have a sit down, have a cup of coffee, moan about how bad everything is. That's how we bond. Sappuccinos all round. Yeah, full Sappuccinos. But the next variation of that...
No one better than Jim Hamilton.
Yeah, he's going. Nick Easter was pretty good. Painter was the king of...
Nick Easter was.
I love a Sappuccino. I'm very positive, but also very negative. I love a Sappuccino.
But in some ways, being that negative negative is also a positive.
Yeah.
Because it's just fucking funny.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. But the next extension of that is getting on the piss, bonding, being able to come into a change room and go, Goode, you mug, what were you doing? Or Good as you want to call him. I can't believe Mako, you did that. What were you? All these things, I think, help get a team to bond, and it's really interesting that so many teams, players some clubs I've been to, players wanted to leave and go to Saracens because they were like, they've got so many coaches. They've got
Elliot
coaches.
Daly.
They've got, ultimately he's gone. But you've got so many coaches. Having more coaches doesn't make a better team.
Yeah.
What I explained to one player once, he was like, well, you've got so many, they've got a skills coach, got this coach, got this coach. I was like, have you ever asked our coaches to help to improve your game? He's like, no. I was like, well, that's rule number one. Because just because you've got 50 coaches, if you don't actively go and seek to improve yourself, you're never going to improve. Just because you've got 50 coaches doesn't make you a better player. You have to still want to work and go and improve yourself.
Granted on that, but I do still think we are getting to the stages where specific positional coaches
I agree.
are
No, I agree.
useful.
I agree.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure. Because having been a backs coach or whatever, you try and get through everyone in the week, and if you're doing then A-League, it's hard to then get through and then do on-field stuff as well as a coach. So I think specific positional coaching is
I think.
But just one-on-one
relative if you want to take things to a next level.
But just you know what? Individualised training is the answer. It full stop. My favourite thing is some of the work-ons I've always been given. It's like, right, we need you to do this, 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 this. Okay, fine. The club has got me from 10 hours a day, and not one bit of the training looks like any of the things I need to improve on. And there's still, but you're like, there will be 5 separate players, 6 separate players who would need to do what I need to do. And I think from what I hear again, and this is, I don't want to advocate because I'm sure every club's got problems and everything else. And I've not been into Saracens environment. I just know hearing it, secondhand. This is what I believe, and that they're not perfect.
Yeah.
But I just think I think they get so much right, and I'm envious because it isn't rocket science to do that. But they everyone throws this word culture around. They've developed it.
What they do better than anyone else is they don't waste things on the training paddock. They leave everything on the field. So they probably have more rest days than any other team in the league. But they just trust their players that they will deliver on a weekend and put their bodies on the line.
And how passionate they've got guys as well in that team who will
generate that.
Do you know the other thing about it? From a complete outsider's point of view, with no interest in getting to know them, they are the nicest bunch of blokes of all the squads I've dealt with.
Really?
They greet you with a handshake, they ask questions, they are interesting people, they're interested in you. And I think, genuinely, I don't offer comment often, but I think they are the most impressive bunch of guys as a result. So you kind of get the sense they invest in the people, which pays off on the pitch.
Because you invest in the people, because you've got the same people there through the whole time. As a player, they turn up, they don't train as much as anyone else, as Tin says. Families are looked after, nothing's too much trouble. They go on unbelievable trips. They all their mates are signed up. There's no drama over contracts.
Yeah.
They win. Their game plan suits to their exact needs, and they've got people like Owen, Mako. Mako's unbelievably vocal. People talk about leadership. Mako, apart from Mako slapping his own teammates and bollocking everyone, he drives standards. Billy drives standards.
Did you see him go up to collect his medal on his own?
No, what did he do?
Oh, it's bloody funny. So they all line up and you got one at a time. So they called up Mako, who walked up to the stage, and he got 3/4 of the way there. He realised that none of the others were coming up, so he got his medal and he was up on the stage for 10, 15, 20 seconds on his own.
Amazing.
So everybody else hung back. He took it very well, actually. There was a lot of arms up, but it got to the point where it was quite awkward and then there was a sort of shuffle on. But
He would have loved that.
he likes a bit of moment in the
just
sun.
things like that. So I think, but again, I hear Exeter have it in every team. Do you know what, having moved around rugby, the good thing about rugby generally is rugby attracts good people. So every team I've ever been in has had a great team ethic, great environment. It's just what marries it up with great set of boys is the next level, the next level that they seem to take it to.
Mark McCall, next England coach. Dean Ryan's left the RFU today. He's gone to the Dragons in Wales, director of rugby.
Has he?
Yeah. That's a tricky job. But
Well,
Mark
that is
McCall,
an interesting move for someone like Dean.
the reason I reference that is that some people thought that maybe Dean would come through to take over from Eddie. But, is Mark McCall the obvious one? Rob Baxter said he doesn't want the job. Do you look
He
overseas?
definitely wants it.
Yeah. Maybe he's the best man for it. Man who doesn't want it again.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Very good.
Jon Snow it. Yeah.
don't want it. I don't want it. I don't like it. Have you come across McCall or not?
Not really. Not really.
I have. I tell you what, it's the best thing. I reminded of this once. I have never had a long, in-depth conversation with him, which is weird because I would say, in my limited experience of it, he's the most understated but successful Premiership coach. But he doesn't feature. You know, when you go to these Premiership launch days, you know, the Steve Diamonds, all these people kind of taking the
Dean Richards,
all these people, and then Mark McCall just kind of gets on with it. And I'll never forget that we played Sarri European semi-final for Wasps at the Medeski. And as I'm driving out, I'm with Chloe, and I'm driving out on my own, and he's standing by the bus, and I went, Mark, and he just went like that, went, gave me a wave as if I literally went, not a fucking fan, mate. James Haskell just saying thanks for congratulations. And he went, oh, okay. But looked at me like I was honestly completely insane.
Fanboy.
I've never had first of all, he fanboyed, then he looked at me like I was a dick. I've never had a proper conversation with him, but subsequently I have, talked to him a few times. Really lovely, quiet kind of guy that just seems to be absolutely killing it year after year, but still isn't what I would, see as a massive Premiership manager. Or am I wrong? Is it only because I've seen?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I would say
they share it all. Yeah, Al Sanderson takes all the on during games.
Because you imagine if Mark McCall does go to England, God, that'd be a story in Ireland. That Alex would be the person who'd take the risk. Because McCall obviously came through under Fenter. They're very good at promoting from within.
Yeah, they are very good. I actually spent my Saturday afternoon with Dean Richards, and I found it thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, he was great. I didn't manage to time in for a late nighter though, which I was slightly upset with because I heard his legendary.
I've told you about Dean Richards that I met him a few times. But obviously, he had John Wells that was coach, and Wellesley was like,
"Get over the ball, mate. Get over the ball.
Get your head under there. Too much flash, not enough bash, mate. It'd always be like the dark areas." Anyway, so he'd obviously told Dean Richards that I was like. I was some sort of joker. Mate, you want to talk to Haskell? He's fucking, funny man, right? Because when I played Newcastle, Wellesley would poke his head by the door. All right, Hask, got anything for me? And then Dean Richard popped out behind him, and he was like nodding as if I was going to do a little dance or do something. and I was thinking,
50 feet in the slot machine.
He'd obviously told him that they were like wanted me to like go on
amuse.
Yeah, same thing. I shared a room with Shawsey. First time I sat with Shawsey, sat on the side of the bed, and I'm on my laptop like doing work, spizzing. Shit businessing for anyone referencing it, and Jawsey went, go on then. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I've asked to share a room with you. I want you to amuse me. I was like, Jawsey, I'm very boring behind closed doors, mate. There's no crowd. And honestly, he got sick. He got sick of me and just left.
Went to sleep.
I did find out that the Alex Tate story is very much true.
Is that right? When he was sitting there without his top on.
Yeah.
How extraordinary!
What, shouting to the wall?
No, and because Alex Tate never always talks during training, so he did say that was true.
So when Dean Richards is reading the newspaper and Tate comes
his appraisal.
in. Yeah. But the best
was
was
true.
They had but it's even more true stories. They had a centre that wouldn't communicate. So him and Wellesley and Dean Richards got him to do a one-on-one, but got him to stand and shout his answers through a wall in a separate room. Because they're like, right, you don't communicate, and made him shout his answers through the wall.
I love that. You wouldn't need that, would you?
No, I wouldn't need that. I'd be fine. But I'd 100% get down for the shirt off. Imagine Dean Richards reading the paper and saying, you like training, not your shirts. I thought we did a one-on-one with that.
Just check out the rigatoni.
What a boy. I love that shit.
He was such a good player as well.
Imagine him as a policeman, though. Imagine accidentally pissing, like, say you saw Wellesley, you're like, I'll have a go with you, Wellesley. and then Dean Richards.
Is John Wells your best impression in rugby?
I've got a few good impressions.
Rob Halley?
Really. Yeah, I can do that. You told her that. Yeah. No, yeah. All right, guys, game plan. All right, guys. Game plan, third test, Lions tour, right? Run in, but out, straight, but not too straight, right? Kick, but pass when it's on, run when it's on, make the tackle. Yeah, that's legitimate.
And full stop on any future Lions endeavours.
I can't play anymore. I literally can't walk. That's why I'm retiring.
You could be morale officer.
Yeah,
Jason Leonard.
Yeah, Warren Gatton, please pick me as team manager for the Lions. I'll go.
The Fun Bus is the new tour manager for the Lions.
What, Jason Leonard?
Is it tour manager?
No, is it president?
It is something like that. Is it president of the Lions?
Must be president. He must go to all the speeches.
Here we go. That,
Did we? Obviously, we didn't mention R.I.P. Mickey Steele-Bodger.
Oh,
Yes!
mate.
I'm so sorry we haven't done that, and very well remembered.
Because that's what I wanted to talk about last week, but you'd recorded the show on Friday.
Right.
But yes, Mickey
Go on.
Steele-Bodger, what a legend of a man that guy is.
Mate, what a hero.
He epitomised everything that I love about rugby. Got really upset if people were late, which I hate, or didn't turn up or train on time. But as long as you gave it all, he'd quite happily sit and drink with you till the cows come home and just share stories. Died a couple of times, and we brought him back.
The remarkable story that he had a heart attack.
Yeah. And then
Went to hospital and was back drinking gin and
and then
tonics 4 hours
back-
later.
Yeah, but he was livid, wasn't he? He was livid that he got resuscitated.
The story goes, I obviously wasn't there, but the story goes that when he got resuscitated the second time,
Yeah.
for bloody hell's sake, you brought me back again. This doctor used to just travel. He was supposed to be the team doctor, but he wasn't. He was Mickey's doctor.
Yeah.
And just literally travelled with him and brought him back twice or something.
But it was because he was disappointed because he died on the piss with the
Yeah,
lads.
yeah.
The ultimate accolade.
What a
and
way to go.
they kept
Yeah.
waking him. They kept resuscitating him. But I had a thing. So I played for the Steele-Bodgers against Cambridge.
Yeah.
And I had a good day and I scored a couple of tries, right? And Mickey was all like, I remember you, Haskell, I remember you, scored a couple of tries, like years later, scored a couple of tries because you're a naughty, naughty boy. And I was like, Mickey, what have I done? He goes, I'm bringing girls back to the hotel. I said, Mickey, I didn't. It wasn't me. I genuinely wasn't me. And he's like, bringing girls back, naughty boy, right? And then
You make him sound like Uncle Monty from Within and
yeah,
I.
that's what it is. And then, but then
He was a little bit like that.
I was then once in the East India
My
Club,
boys, my
the
boys.
most middle class sentence of all time.
Sorry, just start that again.
I was once in the East India Club, which
What were you doing? Why did they
so
let you in?
when you left Wellington, you got a part like a discount on a membership. But the problem was the East India Club. It's fantastic. You have to always be in there in a suit. And for a man who lives in training kit and Alan Partridge t-shirts,
Snooze.
yeah, jeans and shuzzing it. Suits don't come, often. I went in there and Mickey was like, Mr. Haskell, 2 tries to me, naughty boy. I was like, Mickey, what are you talking about? And there was some bloke there wearing a brown suit with or something like a suit with brown shoes, and he was like, don't come over here. This man's let everybody down wearing bloody brown shoes. Disgrace. And he was like, anyway, have you sharpened up your ways, Mr. Haskell? I said, well, because you're a naughty boy bringing girls back. And I was like, how's he remembered that?
They don't make them like that anymore, do they?
He pulled me up on a few things, which I'm pretty sure didn't happen.
I know.
Oh, really?
But you don't want to go...
Well, he should never have known about it.
He had many fingers and many pies,
Yeah.
spies and many eyes.
But he was just a hero, that man. Unbelievable. But
I mean,
always sharp as a knife.
the only president of the Barbarians Rugby Club in however long it's been going. It's just amazing.
Yes.
And
What a
he-
man. Very well remembered. What a tribute. I hope there'll be a very fitting tribute to the great Mickey Steele-Bodger June the 2nd, England Barbars. Producer Si said 42 minutes ago, please move to
Fine.
this week's Guinness Perfect Pour. Welcome along.
So I'm definitely missing my train.
Are you? I'm so sorry. Mind you, it took 3.5 hours to get up. Might as well take as long to get down. Our weekly test in 119.5 seconds because that's how long it takes to pour the perfect pint. We ran with James's idea, it says here, of word association. But you have some new rules, I understand, James.
Yes.
Chat.
Yeah, it's 119 seconds of...
0.5.
197.5 of word association, no pause. You've got to say the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay. Do you want
And
to go
obviously,
first?
bear in mind that Si sets these words. So I haven't written the words. So I don't.
Do you know what the words are?
No, I know nothing.
Okay, 119.5 seconds. Who times this, producer Si? Producer Si times
so
it.
bad.
Okay, are you ready? First thing that comes into your
Yeah.
head. 1, 2, 3, away we go. Retirement.
Sad.
Wellborn
Stupid name.
is your middle name as well. Best rugby night out.
Ireland.
Funniest teammate.
Jamala.
Worst teammate.
Joe Gibson.
Want to elaborate? Pause. Elaborate.
No, we don't want to throw him under the bus. Just
Okay.
saying. He's actually a great guy. That was the first thing that came to my head.
Player you don't like.
Oh, I like everyone.
Unlikeliest player you'd like to be stuck on a desert island with.
Paul Hill.
Israel Folau.
Homophobic arsehole.
Favourite player's wife.
Oh. Tinses.
Very good, just. Favourite other sport?
MMA.
Religion.
Not for me.
Favourite holiday destination?
Las Vegas.
Prince Philip.
Legend.
Biggest fear?
Getting small and shit.
Rom-coms.
Love them.
Media whore.
Yes, please.
Billy V's Lions Withdrawal.
It's very sad.
But also...
Yeah, great. Beneficial for me.
Favourite serial killer? I cannot believe I've asked that.
Ted Bundy.
J.K. Rowling.
Amazing author.
Who ends up on the Iron Throne?
Aria. No, not Aria. What's she called? Aria.
Arya.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick back Jamie Gibson. You need to elaborate on.
It's never turned up to Team Social once in the history of.
This is not the show for him this week, then, given we are launching Team Socials.
He's never turned up to Team Social. Always, he's lost a number of relatives when it came to Team Social times, and there's been a lot of emergencies every time.
He's
Team
very
Social.
good at
Incredible player.
Cooking. He's barbecuing.
Do you know what, Jamie's unbelievable cook, unbelievable chef, unbelievable rugby player. Doesn't turn up to Team Socials. Okay. That's the cardinal sin.
Why?
You're out.
You're out. Yeah.
You're out.
How are you going to create an environment like Sarah's if you
don't turn up on the pitch? Yes.
Why Ted Bundy is your favourite serial
I've just
killer?
watched I watched the new movie with. I
it?
watched the documentary, but I also watched the new movie with that really good-looking actor, Zac Efron. Yeah.
I watched that. It didn't really.
No, it didn't. It didn't because
it didn't quite go into enough detail.
No.
Of what he did and
I
how
know.
he did do it.
That's the problem. That's exactly what I said.
It played more on the fact that he was very charismatic and flipped everything around on other people.
Yeah, I was going to say Ed Gein. He's pretty rank.
Fred West.
Yeah, Fred West is pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, this is quick rip of characters.
Yeah, been impressed that this bit makes it into the final edit. Apparently, it's a very good article.
Why? It's factual.
It's factual.
Yeah, but I think rating him as your favourite serial killer is.
It doesn't mean.
Well, I don't condone it.
Yeah.
You asked me what you know.
I didn't. Producer Si asked you who your favourite serial killer was.
Fine.
Ted Bundy.
But a serial killer with character, then he's obviously going to be your favourite, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. If he's charismatic, he's charming.
Yeah. If he's dull as dog shit, you're not going to vote for him, are you?
You're not. No. Tins, you ready? First thing that comes into your head.
Sure that I'm ready. I thought I'd got away with that. I thought it was just a one-off.
No.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Royal family.
My wife.
Your favourite royal.
Quickly.
Willie.
A favourite royal palace.
Balmoral.
Best royal tourist.
Princess Eugenie.
Oh, good. Unlikeliest royal you'd like to be stuck on a desert island with.
Prince Andrew.
The Meghan, Harry, Zara, Tins WhatsApp group.
Entertaining.
Producer Si.
Not a lot of porn in that group, I imagine.
Well, you didn't say that. World Cup.
Winner.
Yeah. Bear Grylls.
Entertaining.
Funniest teammate.
Can't think.
I know, but I would go Bolsh.
Worst teammate.
Mark Foster.
Player you didn't
Sorry,
like.
Fozzie. It's just.
Player you didn't like.
Robbie Fleck, but it
we've done this.
it swung round. It swung round.
Rugby journalists.
Potholes.
Bell end.
Dwarf throwing.
Good sport.
Heavy breather.
Yes, true.
You take it.
Well, no, I'm definitely one, but Haskell is one too. Yeah.
Stuart Barnes.
Pass.
Rob Andrew.
Fucking pass.
Stuart Barnes or Rob Andrew?
Stuart Barnes, without a doubt.
Brexit.
All four.
Lion. All four or awful?
All four. All four.
All four.
I should have left it at all.
Exactly. All four. Lions.
Shame I missed.
Player you wouldn't like to meet in a dark alley.
Danny Grucock.
Miami Stag do.
Amazing.
Very good. WhatsApp group. How much porn is in the Meghan Harry WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Not one shred.
Is it not? Limited chat.
Funniest teammate, door throwing, heavy breather, Stuart Barnes. Go on. Stuart Barnes, Rob Andrew.
You know Rob Andrew?
No, look,
He's not looking at middle.
I really like Stuart Barnes off the field, or when he's not working, basically.
We have a love of racing in common.
Yes, and I like spending time with him, but whilst I was playing, I didn't particularly like him.
I like them both, but I will give you a fact about Rob Andrew. You know when Rob Andrew goes for a wee, right? He always does a big boy wee. So wherever you go,
pants down,
trousers down to past the knees, pants down,
He does.
pants down, does a big boy wee. every time. Every time. So I literally, you'll be in your urinal, you walk up under your flies, maybe force your knob out. Rob Andrew, pants straight down, trousers straight down, standing there, arse out, big boy wee. You know, like
so that was a game at university. But I've never known a man who's carried that forward into his 40s and 50s.
This is, I have walked in and he's just doing it. Legitimately does the big boy wee every time. It's amazing.
Well,
I'm
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I'd like to say that's the only amazing thing he does.
Awkward.
You could have left that. On that bombshell. Good. I think we've definitely covered one or two topics. Thank you very much indeed, chaps. Nice to put the band back together.
Just looking back at my notes, it says Saris, Skelton.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That is it for this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the House of Rugby. We are a YouTube show and a podcast. Don't forget to download and watch our boxing show, TK with Carl Frampton and Boys Don't Cry with Russell Kane. Thank you to our retired duo, Haskell and Tins. Are you back next week? Or are you on holiday? Or at a palace? We'll be back next week in some shape, form, or another. Have a good one in the meantime. Bye for now.
You've been watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness. Drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk for the facts.